the City Council regular meeting for the City of Wyoming, Minnesota, October 21st, 2025. Let the record reflect, we do have a quorum. Member Luker, Member Yeager, and Mayor Iverson are present. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Right. Open forum. Open forum is an opportunity for members of the public to address the City Council on items that are on or may not be on the current agenda. Items requiring council action may be deferred to staff or boards and commissions for research and future council agendas if appropriate. You will be limited to 3 minutes, and we ask that you conduct yourself in a professional, courteous manner and refrain from the use of profanity. Failure to abide by this policy may result in the loss of your privilege to speak. Do we have anybody here tonight that would like to speak for open forum? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 1, approval of minutes. Consider approving the minutes of the regular meeting of the Wyoming, Minnesota City Council for October 7th, 2025. If there are no comments, questions, or changes, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Yeager. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So approved. Moving on to scheduled public hearings. Number 2, to consider Resolution 2510-102, a resolution approving the assessment roll for the 2025 improvement project. Mr. Erickson, are you starting us off on this?
Yes. Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of council. Tonight we have a brief presentation leading up to the assessment hearing for the 2025 street improvement project. And we'll just quick go over again the public improvement process, the assessment process, project location, existing conditions, the improvements that were completed, the project costs and the funding sources, which leads to our assessment calculations and financing for the project, our project schedule, where we're at with that process. We'll ask council if they have any questions, and then you certainly can open that up for the assessment hearing portion, the public comment portion. And then there'll be 2 decisions that, or 1 decision that you need to make, whether it's to adopt the assessments or to table for a future meeting. So as far as our public improvement process, it does follow state statutes, chapter 429, that does outline the process for assessments to benefiting properties. And so you can see it is a pretty detailed process. It is culminated where we're at this evening. On the lower left, the lower right, we're holding the assessment hearing and asking council to consider adopting the assessment roll. And then following that, the remaining step is to certify the assessments with the county. And I'll get into a little bit more detail on that step moving forward. But the assessment process, as I mentioned, does follow state statute chapter 429. There is a minimum of 2 public hearings for that. We have the improvement hearing where we determine whether to move forward with the project, and the second meeting is this assessment hearing. We do have quite a few additional meetings above and beyond that, just to engage the public, let them know in advance of the project what the project consists of, if there's any input or considerations that should be included in a feasibility study and included in the project. That might be drainage and other things like that, which one example was brought up here, and we included that in the project and took care of that, and I'll highlight that. So with that, property owners do, at this assessment hearing, they do have the right to object to the object or appeal to the assessment, and they need to do that in writing before or at the meeting here this evening. I don't believe we've received anything thus far, have we, Mr. Linwood? No. Okay. And then the notice of appeal following that would need to be filed with the Chisago County courts within 30 days after the adoption of the assessments. And the interest rate for this is proposed at 5%. That is the going rate that we determined when talking to bond counsel. The project location, again, is highlighted. It includes 256th, Grail Court, Grand Prix Court, Grizzly Court, and Greenwood Court. Shown here, it's also known as Hawk Meadows neighborhood. You can see the condition of the roadway here in the next few slides. There's some really shallow potholes throughout that are really prevalent after some of the chip seals that we had done in the previous years. And so most of those were quite shallow and able to be milled off, and we did what's called a mill and overlay type improvement. And so again, just existing photos of a number of the streets that were included here. So the assessed improvements included the street improvements and drainage improvements. The trail improvements are not assessable, and so that is something that was not included in that assessment calculation. We did maximize the existing drainage facilities to the greatest extent that we could. We did add or modify how the roads drained in one particular area that was holding water since the day it was built. And so we did improve that. And we did replace all of the manhole and catch basin structures and rings on those as well. The trail improvements, we did replace that trail along the entire length of 256th Street. The street reconstruction, again, you can see our existing roadway width, and we did mill and overlay that top 2 inches of pavement and replace the pavement for the trail. Similarly, section here just doesn't include the trail. You can see on the previous slide it included the trail, and here, of course, it didn't have the trail on each of the cul-de-sacs, only along 256th Street. So now we get to the improvements. You can see the trail on the left, the trail and roadway on the left picture, and some zebra crosswalks for pedestrians as well were included in the project. So again, just all the improvements. You can see in areas where you have a brighter, whiter curb is areas that curb was broken and deficient and not draining properly. And so we did replace sections of curb throughout that needed repairs as well. So the project costs, again, there was the surface and drainage improvements, which again, I'll get into the details and how that was broken out, was $340,080. City responsibility, $85,020 being with assessments, and then the trail costs of $128,250. So total project cost was $533,350. As far as funding, we looked at that amount that was to be assessed, and that is 20% of the surface and drainage improvements per our city assessment policy. And we did follow the policy and look at assessable units. So each property would be assessed 1 unit. If they were large enough to subdivide it, we did evaluate that. They would receive more than 1 assessment, but they did not, the results of that review did not yield any parcels that could be subdivided into multiple parcels. So 20% assessed, the city paid for the remaining 80% plus the trail cost. So again, that total assessable amount being the surface and drainage costs, $425,100. 20% of that is $85,020. We had 52 units, resulting in an assessment per unit of $1,635. So I mentioned earlier an interest rate of 5%, with the amount of the assessments here that we have being relatively small, $1,600. Staff is recommending a 5-year period. We did discuss this as well when we declared the cost to be assessed. And so property owners have really 2 options. One is they can prepay the assessments, meaning they can prepay within 30 days of this assessment hearing, which would be November 21st. Any subsequent year, they can also prepay, if they did not choose to prepay the full amount, the amount goes directly to their property taxes and would be certified with the county after 30 days from this evening. And the property owners can pay off the balance any subsequent year, but it would have to be done by November 15th of that year, and it would accrue interest through that year. And this is just an assessment payback table example of what they might expect to see on their property taxes if they chose not to prepay. So again, Really, we're at the tail end of the project schedule, the assessment hearing being here this evening. Property owners, again, would have 30 days to prepay that assessment, at which time, when that 30 days is up, the city staff here would send the assessment roll to the county for certification, in addition to people's property taxes payable in 2026. So with that is my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. The project did go pretty well. We do have some restoration that has been seeded. All punch list items are mostly complete, but there are some remaining small items that do need to be completed, and we'll continue to monitor restoration efforts into next spring.
That looks really nice. Questions from council? Member Luker, any questions?
No questions.
Member Yeager?
No questions.
All right, I have none either, so we'll go into opening the public hearing. We need a motion to go into that public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor to open to the public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed? We are open into the public hearing. If there's anybody who would like to come up and speak regarding the assessments. When you come up, make sure you just state your name and your address, please.
Love being up here. Bob Rosenbaum, Grizzly Court, 25242 Grizzly Court. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for your work on that improvement project. It's great compared to what we had before. I mean, anyhow, it's just kids and their bikes are riding on there and they're happier. Hogs and slop, you know. The only question I have, and I'll get out of here, the question is, I want to pay mine a lump sum. Will you all be giving us a bill that we can respond to? How do I pay it in 31 days?
So when we receive that letter, it does identify in there that you can pay the city directly. So you can either come up directly to the city hall and pay that, or else you
Okay.
can mail a check for that amount, just as
Either
long as.
way.
Either way.
Okay, that's all I had, the only question I had. And thanks again for your work out there, guys. It's really great.
Can I just say thank you for telling us thank you?
Yeah,
I think
nice.
that's probably the first time I've heard that in 9 years, so we appreciate that a lot. They do work really hard. Anybody else like to come up? Seeing none, we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
We have a first, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, we are closed. So number 2, to consider resolution 2510-102, a resolution approving the assessment roll for the 2025 street improvement project. If council has no other further questions, then we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion to approve by member Luker, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Yeager, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so approved. Consent agenda, number 3, 4, 5. Number 3, 4, and 5. Does anybody wish to pull an item off the consent agenda? Seeing none, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda, number 3, 4, and 5. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A motion by member Yeager, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by member Luker, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, so approved. Acknowledge receipts of reports of officer boards, commissions, and department heads. Number 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Does anybody wish to pull an item from the reports? Seeing none, we'll move on to number 11, communications, LMC, City of Excellence Award article for the City of Wyoming. Mr. McFarland.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, this is just an article written from Deborah Lynn Bloomberg of LMC, kind of highlighting the city's City of Excellence Award that they were awarded by LMC for the age-friendly garden that was put in over at Fairview's property. I know this isn't a new garden, let's say at this point, but this article does go into kind of what it was, what the project meant, and then there's multiple interviews with not only city staff, but also our partners that were involved in this project. So we just want to highlight it since it's new, since the last time that we presented on this. And also just to highlight that this is only possible due to the council's commitment to the age-friendly ideals. So we want to thank you guys and just let you know about this one being out there.
Thank you. It was a very well-written article. I liked all the partners speaking about it. And also, I believe we're presenting tomorrow for age-friendly, so through the league. So I think that really spots like Wyoming and how we really appreciate our seniors. So thank you. Any questions on that? None? Okay, we'll move to number 12. Emerald Ash Borer EAB Tree Grant. Mr. McFarland.
Yeah, Honorable Mayor and members of council, this is about the 2025 Community Tree Planting Grant. The Minnesota Legislature has allocated more than $4 million towards this grant, which goes to support tree planting and also the removal of ash trees that have been affected by emerald ash borers. The city previously got a grant that was similar to this from the state in 2022, which allowed us to remove 30 emerald ash trees in the community and then replace those with just a more diverse tree species list to ensure that any future diseases or things like these insects would have a harder time decimating that community of trees. So staff is once again looking to apply for this. The deadline, we just found out about it, but October 28th, 2025. City staff has been working closely with Mr. Reeves and everyone involved over there in Public Works to get this put together. But we were just looking for council's authorization then to put in for that grant in 2025.
Okay, any questions from council?
Nope.
No, all right. Do we need to vote on this then? It's not really a resolution, just that we're all in favor for
I
it.
think just consensus
Yeah,
works.
it looks like you have that consent. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 13, results of radiochemical monitoring in the city of Wyoming. I have Mr. Linwood down for that, but I could be wrong.
I think Mr. Reeves or Mr. Erickson, I don't know, I'm not sure who's going to start on that, but.
You want us to start, Steve? Or you want me to?
You want to get started this?
Yeah, I think, just a very high-level summary, I think we do get our tests annually, multiple times a year. And so we do continue to track and monitor this. We've talked in the past, if we see something that's extraordinarily different, that we need to start making decisions on water treatment or things of that nature, that we'd come back and do a report, kind of, I know we've done that in the past where we've had one of our water experts come in and we've gone through a lot of charts and plotting and things of that nature, just kind of look at trend lines and things like that. So we've not updated that spreadsheet or those charts in some time. And so at some point, when we feel it's prudent, we'll probably do that again, but we're not seeing anything or getting any direction from the Department of Health saying, well, you guys need to make some plans that are different than what you're doing now. We are required to blend our water, and so we are continuing to meet their requirements with that. And so I know our public works staff, in fact, is limiting and really almost not using it at all, correct? If I'm not mistaken?
Correct, we're using the well just to operate the well so that the pump and everything, you don't want it to go bad. So we utilize it, but not into the system, so.
Great.
Yeah.
So we're gonna continue to monitor, and we'll present here within the next couple of years, I would say. We'll probably present again some findings and just kind of update our presentation that we had previously and include the last half a dozen years that we've kind of been monitoring and tracking this. So more just a requirement that we bring this to you as a communication and let you know that we're continuing to monitor and follow the rules presented to us by the Department of Health.
Great, appreciate that. Questions from council. We'll start with Member Yeager.
Will this discussion on trend lines and everything be a part of the next utility rate study, especially in case we had to build a treatment plant for our radium?
We don't see that this next 5-year window that we'd be looking at a treatment plant within that 5-year window that the rate study will be occurring. And so we'll probably not have that included as part of that rate study.
Okay. And then any way to get your samples, your results closer together? I mean, like within a month, they double? I mean, the discrepancy between sample results?
I know you're a scientist at heart, right? I know that you that's important to you, and you brought that up in the past as well. And
Yeah.
I know that, Steve, maybe you can talk about.
Yeah, so maybe what you're looking at is a difference. There's July of '24 versus July of '25, and there's a fluctuation where it does go up from there, but it's a whole calendar year. And we follow guidance from the Department of Health as far as when to test. They require that we test in the 2 quarters apart. So I think the first quarter and the third quarter is when we do our testing for well 3, which is the well that is present with radium. The other wells we test annually per their guidance, and they're well within compliance. So actually, Well 3 gets tested twice annually.
Yeah, I know that. It was just more when I look and see like your gross alpha in water, within a year, your results double, your concentration doubles.
Correct.
And, I mean, is that a problem in sampling, a problem in testing, or
It could
something
be,
that really out of whack in the well?
well, it could be drought, because it's obviously groundwater that we're drawing off the aquifers, so it could be conditions, from the weather, you know, from what happened that year, if it was a dry year, wet year, and what got pulled out in the sample.
Yeah, like I said, the scientist comes out every so often.
Thank you. Member Luker, any questions?
Nope, no questions.
All right, I have none either, so thank you for that communication. We'll move on to new business number 14. To consider resolution 2510-105, a resolution approving a conditional use permit amendment C25-006, location 6641 Lake Boulevard, applicant Denise McLaughlin of Top of the Valley Pet Resort, property ID number 21.11069.00. Mr. Weck, are you taking this one?
Yes, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor and council members, we have we have a conditional use permit and an interim conditional use permit for the same property tonight. The first one is for this pet resort, and I'll go through that first. So the applicants are requesting a CUP for a dog kennel. A commercial dog kennel is, requires anytime we have more than 4 dogs, we need a commercial kennel conditional use permit. Sorry about that. And the note there is the owner is also proposing a cannabis retailer for the same location on tonight's agenda. It's 2.83 acres. It's approximately a 2,000 square foot building. It's located on the north of the lot at Greenway and Highway 8. There's currently a 6-stall parking lot. There's room for additional parking, and the site allows for a fenced area behind the existing structure for the dogs. It meets the 12 standards for the CUP. During the public hearing, we had some comments from the adjoining property owners about the vegetation for screening and some of those things. So we did already have, as the CUP conditions, the vegetation being maintained along the property lines, and we did add some lighting plans and noise requirements based on those public comments. So Planning Commission and the City Council, or Planning Commission staff, are recommending approval of the conditional use permit.
Thank you. Mr. Weck, am I to understand that she's owning, is she owning the Valley Pet Resort and a cannabis retail
No,
shop?
it's two separate applicants, 2 separate people.
Got it,
So-
okay,
so,
okay,
So,
perfect.
Yeah, so the one or the other will end up in the building if they do.
Okay, so then what happened, if it's one or the other, what happens to the one not chosen?
Then we'll have to revoke that conditional use
So
permit.
that would be another agenda
That'll
item.
be another agenda item at some point.
And if we approve both, then it just becomes in the hands of the property owner to decide which one he wants.
That
He
and
wants to
the
sell to.
applicants, depending on what the property owner is asking for asking prices and all that. So there's still negotiation between the property owners and our applicants, so.
Yeah, and maybe if I can just jump in, it was a bit confusing, but talking with Administrator Weck and just looking, there's nothing that prohibits them to submit 2 applications. It's a unique situation. They can only operate 1 business out of there, but ultimately, in evaluating, staff recommendation is, did the conditional use permit application meet the requirements? Our evaluation indicated they do. So theoretically, both could warrant approval. Only 1 business is gonna be able to operate out of there. The recommendation then would be to revoke whichever one does not end up operating, or if they're not operating for a year, it just would be terminated under the code.
Well then, I assume each applicant paid their fees to the city for the application?
Yes, they did.
So the one not chosen, do they get their fees back?
No.
Okay.
No. That was a risk they took, whether or not the permit was gonna be approved by the city or not.
Okay.
I'm assuming, Mr. Weck, that the reason for that is because you still had to go through the same process for
Correct.
both of them,
We
so.
had to do all the public hearing notices, had to do this, everything you see for one had to be
Yeah,
done for the other.
so it's still be a cost, okay.
Okay.
Member Luger, any questions?
No questions.
Okay. So we need a motion to approve, I'm not gonna read it all, resolution 2510-105. I'll make the first, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Member Luker. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? So approved. Number 15, to consider Resolution 2510-106, a resolution approving an interim conditional use permit for a cannabis retailer, I-25003, location 6641 Lake Boulevard, applicant Billy Lavelle of 10,000 Bakes, property ID number 21.11069.00. We did already discuss this, so we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I do have a question about the cannabis
Oh,
part.
okay, sure. Sorry.
Or
Oh, you got a
we do have a
presentation on that?
too, so.
Oh, got
Oh,
it.
okay.
So again, same location, but they're requesting an interim use permit. That's per our new ordinance for cannabis. It is allowed in the commercial district, so it's allowed in this location. Again, the site, same situation for existing conditions. Again, this conforms to the CUP standards. There will be a need for additional parking because this is a retail location instead of pet resort. So we'll need to add some additional parking. But other than that, the CUP conditions that we're recommending are virtually the same.
Okay. Member Yeager, you had questions?
Yeah, what about odor control? I remember when the Minnesota Roots came to the city, they talked a lot about odor control in their facility. So what are these guys doing for odor control?
I think
It's
part-
not on, I mean, lighting and everything is on there, but not odor.
Right. Well, this is a retail location, so everything's packaged, so there shouldn't be any odor, and then part of that odor compliance is also part of their licensing with the state. So they'll be inspected by the state for all the cannabis type things, and then also our ordinance.
And then this would be a private entity over and above the municipal entity that the city had proposed.
Correct, by statute, we have to allow one retail location based on our population within the city.
Okay, thank you.
Member Luker, any questions? Nope. Okay. So we need a motion to approve Resolution 2510-106. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion to approve by Member Luker. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Yeager. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Number 16, to consider the selection of a consulting firm for the 2026 through 2030 stormwater utility rate study. Mr. Linwood?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of council. The City of Wyoming City Council issued a request for proposals for comprehensive stormwater utility rate studies. It is that time. Last time we did this was, it is now past 5 years, hard to believe, so this would be a rate study for 2026 through 2030. We did receive 6 proposals in regards from this. The proposals we have outlined and gone through those with a high-level review for you. We received proposals from Abdo Financial, Baker Tilly, Ellers, Erickson Northstar, Precision Consulting, Reftelis is the 6th. For the most part, most of the proposals were competitive financially. There was one outlier that was quite significantly higher than most. Most of the rate studies are companies that have had significant experience in doing this kind of work. Staff is recommending Erickson Northstar. They are the low responsible bidder, and they are going to be working with our with WSB, our city engineer. WSB does help us in our Public Works Department with a lot of our MS4 permitting and operations to go through that we're having compliance, and also just to make sure that we have a comprehensive and coordinated approach. So it would be staff's recommendation to move forward with the proposal from Erickson Northstar in the amount of $10,495.
95 or 25?
25, excuse me, thank you.
Member Luker, any questions?
No, no questions.
Member Yeager?
I would take it the 30 previous rate studies that they've done is sufficient. I mean, I see other ones with 150, that was Ayler's, 200.
I would say yes. I think both the individuals have formed this company, have significant experience through time with both Baker Tilly and Springstead. And so I think as this company, they've done 30, but I think career-wise, they've probably done a significantly larger amount than that. So I
Okay.
think we feel that they're capable, and I think obviously partnering with our city engineer will be some cost savings where some of these other ones we're still gonna have to get information from WSB to be part of that. So I think we're looking that they're very capable to do this. And then, like I said, the price point is
Okay.
appropriate.
And wasn't this firm the same one who did our last water and sewer rate study?
That is correct.
Okay,
Correct.
thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, if there are no further questions, I'll make the motion to approve Erickson North Star LLC in the amount of $10,425. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Luger. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So approved. Council reports. Let's start with Member Luger.
I attended the Joint Lake Sewer Commission meeting last night. Thank you all for attending.
Perfect. Member Yeager.
Well, I attended the 5:30 work session, and then I stopped in at the last planning commission meeting because I was done with my meeting over at the Friends of the Library. And it was there, so what the heck? So thank you all for coming, and thank you all for watching.
All right, thank you. I also attended the Joint Sewer Commission and the work session earlier this afternoon. Chief Bauer, did we talk about the Coffee with the Cops last meeting? When was it? We did, but there's another one coming up, correct? January? Oh, okay. Okay, so indoors. Okay, that'll be kind of nice. Okay. All right, we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion to adjourn by Member Luger. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Member Yeager. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.